And I feel like that's also the thrust of the argument, right? Could the other cultures have survived? Like if Zanzibar takes over Mediolanum right now, how does that and if we pretend that Zanzibar is Carthage and we pretend that Mediolanum is Rome, how does that change the course of history if Carthage wins in the Punic Wars? What happens if Rome doesn't become the military power? What happens if we don't have the Battle of Actium? What happens if Caesar never gains power? He's never stabbed in the back. Caesar, Shakespeare never writes Julius Caesar, so we already see an influence on literature. Imagine the influence on politics. Would we still be a representative democracy in our country, or would we be something different? And is that determined by the history of the victors, or is that determined by a better culture? And when you get into the better culture argument, is when you start to get into iffy territory, because what makes a good culture has been debated for decades and it's still being debated. We don't know what makes a great culture yet because there's never been the perfect culture, man. We all still have our problems and issues and differences no matter the time period or whatever. When an empire becomes as large as Rome was at its height, excuse me, when an empire becomes as large as Rome was at its height, it's almost impossible to be completely homogenous. I agree. Because where does the oneness of homogeneity come from? Who is determining the oneness? Who is the one group? Is it all Romans? Because the Romans certainly didn't have the idea of the American dream. And I think of the American dream as the Ellis Island Project, where everyone comes in, everyone has a spot, you know. They were very clear that if you don't fit their lifestyle, things won't go as well. And we see, and look at that. Just like this, just from spawning this men at arms, we might be able to save the city from certain doom. It's entirely possible. But again, if I didn't save the city from doom, how would history change? Who knows? Especially considering it's a Roman city. But we get rid of this catapult, or we're almost getting rid of this catapult, which I think is good. We'll have to see if it survives the next two barbarian hits.